crisis is not an issue of illegal immigration. This is just an intolerance. It is a case of ethnic, religious, and the political persecution to reach Arakan of the Muslim population. As you've seen, say in 2017, the world was appalled by the hundreds and thousands of innocent images of hundreds and thousands of innocent children, women, and even the men fleeing their homeland, escaping persecution, existing crimes against humanity and genocide, and their families were massacred, in houses burned down, and then children were thrown into the flames. And these have been forcing about more than 140,000 people to escape, to take shelter in Bangladesh. And the UN fact-finding missions has termed it crimes against humanity and genocide. Today, Bangladesh is a home to 1.2 million Rohingya, including those who came after 25 August 2017. And we are very much thankful to the government and people of Bangladesh for welcoming us and showing solidarity in a bold, merciful, and humanitarian gesture despite economic constraints of the nation. The plight of the Rohingya is the greatest humanitarian crisis of our time. Close to 500,000 people still remain in Arakan. They are living surviving in confined villages, ghettos, and at the same time, this is like a concentration camp in Arakan, and with what the human rights and the international aid organization have described the condition as the worst in the world. And this humanitarian community has responded. This is admirable. However, still we need greater support for the refugee camp in Bangladesh, so that refugees live with that dignity. But we are mindful that the humanitarian aid cannot address the symptoms of the challenge. It is humanitarian aid can only address the symptom of the challenges. It cannot address the root cause of the Rohingya crisis. Many of our refugee children, they lack education, and they need quality and formal education, and which can give them a skill to rebuild their country communities in future. Adequate security, protections from human trafficking, and sufficient treatment and the mental health services are urgent needs for refugee camp. The Rohingya villages have been bulldozed without a tree standing, destroying any potential evidence of crimes against humanity and erasing any signs of former existence of Rohingya civilizations. Their land has been declared state ownership with sinister intention of establishing more Buddhist settler villages and so-called economic zone in collaboration with China. However, the foremost priority for the Rohingya people is to return home, but they cannot return where bloodshed and violence and the genocide is still ongoing. The sad truth is that Myanmar government has no intention of creating sustainable return conditions for the sustainable return of the refugees, because they have already fulfilled their purpose. They achieved their goal already. This is elimination of the Rohingya people from Arakan. So, based on I want to call on the UK government and the international community. This is the recommendation. One, increase the pressure on Myanmar and that of its foremost allies, China and Russia. Vocally support the Rohingya people's rights to be legally recognized as an ethnic minority of Myanmar as well as restoration of their full citizenship, consistent with the other ethnic minorities of Myanmar, and support the use of their ethnic name Rohingya. Recognize the crimes perpetrated against the Rohingya as crimes against humanity and genocide, as indicated by the fact-finding missions. Support the credible accountability efforts to ensure BTC justice served and the cycle of violence not repeated. These include the situation in Myanmar to the reference of the situation in Myanmar to the International Criminal Court, and also the state party individually or in cooperation should act according to the Genocide Convention and to hold the state of Myanmar accountable for the International Court of Justice. And additionally, the international community should consider for the establishing international trade and a strengthened targeted sanction against the Myanmar government and its military, including General Mia Online, all military officials. Even here, I think the Aung San Suu Kyi is not innocent, she is a complicity. And it is important that this is the time to move beyond symbolic sanction and targeted the trade preference issue, sanction, and the targeted concrete economic interests of the military should be targeted. Trade preference must be linked to conditions on human rights and the need to see tangible progress in conditions affecting the Rohingya people. Support efforts to establish a stabilization force. I don't say here peacekeeping force. A stabilization force under an independent international community in order to facilitate peaceful repatriation process, to protect the Rohingya inside Myanmar and stem further violence, and to help build peaceful coexistence between Rohingya and other ethnic groups in the country, and increase support for Rohingya refugees in camps in Bangladesh who are desperate in need of education, security, adequate healthcare, and other humanitarian needs. Support programs that provide mental health and trauma rehabilitation programs for the Rohingya, targeting in particular children and those who have been impacted by sexual violence. Rohingya must be directly consulted. Rohingya must be directly consulted, included, and involved in decision making to ensure that their views shape the terms of all future repatriation process efforts and meet their demand for protected return to protect the homeland, that is their place of origin, access to security, justice, livelihood, healthcare, education, social welfare, and compensation. Thank you very much.